6 or 7 months or whatever it was, I'm just like standing there drooling or something, looking out into the yard. And you can see all the way into a little river and everything. And all of a sudden, out of my periphery, I see a bird come in. Bam!
That's what I thought.
It was birds. Now, we're in northern Illinois.
Uh-huh.
There's no nightfall. The occasional bat or owl, that's it.
Right.
So this is right on the Mississippi. You have all kinds of different species, and it never occurred to me to think of birds. And so a bird would come and spam! And so it would see me, it wouldn't notice the glass, and then think, oh, I'm going to go fly in there. But it's just like...
And then after you're scared shitless, you got to go outside and clean this mirror.
And then you're sitting there going, it's a fucking... It's a bird? And so there were a few things like that where I was able to get to the cause, and there was a logical cause. But there's shit I still don't. And then, like with the little baby, the other thing was the sink where you put your hands in there and it activates. And so for months it didn't do this. And then one night I'm mopping, and it goes bam, 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 like 3 times really hard. I'm like, and it's just like nobody was anywhere near it. I wasn't anywhere near it. And it would, but again, it would be like 4 hours into your shift. And all of a sudden, it would just do that 3 times really hard. And you're like, fuck. And then, but finally I would go and talk to the daytime staff, be like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, it's freaking out. And you're like, okay. If it's just doing it to me, that's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
If it just does it all the time, it's got a wire issue. It's electronics, something's amiss. You know, the kids' toys, the batteries going dead. Just like the smoke detectors, they'll beep when they're low. Sure. But when it doesn't do it for hours, while you're there mopping and moving around, and it's motion activated, and the little baby, I would go up there, just like an episode of South Park with Cartman, and I'd like walk by it, and I'd be like, and it wouldn't do anything. And then I'm like, well, it's motion activated, and it's going off all the time, and I'd walk right by it, and it wouldn't do anything. I'd pick it up and shake it. Listen to me, Chucky, you fuck. I know you're in there. I know you were operating with the Jamaican guy, and you did the thing, you shit! So it's like it was just so, it wouldn't do anything. So I'd be like, well, fuck it, I don't know what's going on. I go back down 2 hours later, it's like, what the hell? It won't do it when I'm holding the fucking thing. So I'd take the battery out. They would put the battery back in, the staff during the day, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And it just went on like this. And like there was a little break room. If you sat in the break room, and you were just chilling, and of course you wouldn't notice this when people are around, but at night by yourself, it sounds like there's whispering out in the hallway. And then you go out in the hallway, and it's just because of the door right there, so there's wind getting sucked into the outside or getting sucked into the building wedge. So it's just like one thing after the next. Like you're sitting there eating your lunch, all of a sudden you hear whispering that you didn't hear a minute ago. You're like, oh, what the fuck now? So I went to the lady who ran it, who was an older lady, you know, getting out of retirement. She swore up and down it's haunted. She was like, yeah, I got to work here at night sometimes. I'm in my office and it gets cold. You're like, but it's just like so I finally, for other reasons, I called them up and quit. I quit over the phone. I called up my boss because she had. I was concerned for the kids. Like I actually went to town on this place. I cleaned the shit out of this building. I took pride. The other nurses just would half-ass it. Nurse housekeepers. So there was literally a layer of soil growing on the corners where they would mop it in a hurry and leave food wedged into the corner and decomposed in the soil and shit. Cleaned that out. I cleaned under everything. Like I opened up a fence and pulled out pounds of dust. I'm like, the kids are breathing it. You guys, you can't have this. This is all kinds of who is that OSHA regulation shit. And there was like, I was like, who's dumping green paint into the sinks? There's green paint at the bottom of all stuff. It wasn't paint. It was an organic discharge because nobody was cleaning the brass bottoms or whatever. Exactly. And I'm like, kids roll around in this. You guys. So I polished this place. I polished it. They had that, is it grout? The black stuff on the tile, grout. Yeah. And I went in there and like with bleach and like got it all off all the tile bathrooms. And so finally Like I polished this turd. And so the manager there was like, we've got whooping cough coming through. You know, oh, here's one more quick story. The summer before, I'm sitting in the break room at the hospital itself, and a tornado went right over the top of us and knocked out our power.
You just have no fucking luck with
I have no luck with anything. So it touched down like 3-4 blocks away, or like right over there. You can see it from the hospital where it made touch down, and kicked up all kinds of debris, knocked down trees. But it knocked out 2-3 other daycare facilities in the area because of all the dust and stuff. They had to shut down to clean it up. So we got their overflow. So instead of coming in and being able to start cleaning little by little, I can't do shit for 2 hours because there's so many damn kids. So I go to my supervisor and I'm like, you got to have me come in at 6. After I've been like, get me out of here, it's haunted. I'm like, you got to have me come in at 6 because I'm useless for 2 hours. I'm going to have to go into hyper clean, which means I got to be bent over all the time. I'm going to fuck up my back real bad, which I already was doing. And she's like, we went up to chain of command 2-3 times, and then finally she was like, well, we're going to give this the old college try. We're going to have you, because you have nothing to do for 2 hours. Like you said, you're going to come into the hospital first and help clean there for a couple hours, and then go down and start cleaning. And I'm like, then she gave me a tour of what she wanted to clean. I'm like, I'm not going to get that done in 2 hours. So I asked you for more time. You just took away another hour. So I went down and I was like, after an hour of like fuming, I called her up. I'm like, send down the other guy, quit. And so it was like, I finally left. So the other guy was this big, tall, gay, Pan-American dude from somewheres. Some brown guy from somewheres. Nice kid. Day is long. He was from one of the islands. Not Hawaii, but one of the surrounding islands. Okay. And so he was like, it terrified him. Like, I muscled through it. Because I'm a big dude. Not a lot I got to worry about. So I muscled through it. I'm like, too tough for this shit. I wrestled. High school, I went to, he was like, I'm gay, there's no chance in hell.
Yeah, I wish he did.
No, he didn't. He was one of those guys who like you wouldn't know he was gay. Right? You had to get to know him, and then his flamboyance came out more. But so he was like, after I left, they changed the policy where you didn't have to clean it alone. So 2 people would come down and clean it first together, and then go back to the hospital and clean another area. And I'm like, well, why didn't you do that when I was here? Fuck you. So because I'm not gay or a chick, I have to muscle through it. But the gay guy and the chick who came, they got to, you'll help them. So it's just like, it was horrible. And my blood pressure was like through the fucking roof. I went in there because I had the flu and I missed 3 days. If you miss 3 days, you got to get a doctor to fill a form out so you can return to work. And they took my blood pressure like 4 times. And they're like, we're going to take you down to the ER. They thought I was going to die of a heart attack. My blood pressure was like 280 over 90 or some shit. It was like way past you should be dead already. And I would like lay down in supine, which is laying flat for like 4 hours, and I just got done wrong. It was just awful. I was so stressed out and sleep deprived. Not just because of that, because of college and shit. But so finally I left. And it was like that line at the end of Cannibal the Musical, where he's like, sometimes you just got to say, okay, because it's about to get a hell of a lot worse. And that was it. It's like every phase, it only got worse. It never got better. But I'm still not dead. So that's good. But yeah, I finally called up and I said, I'm out of here. Like, this is over. That's but it was just, there was, and then at one point I went, they were changing the company was changing the code or whatever, and the swiping thing. Okay. So it wouldn't let me in. So I went up and got a pizza for lunch. I came back down. And I couldn't get in. So I ran around the back. There's a door lock in the back. I'm like, maybe I can, with a credit card or something. So I took out my driver's license. And I was like, yeah, it just opened. And I'm like, so for the last 7 months, a sociopath coming out of the marsh could have just wandered in here and cut my throat.
Gaga goo goo.
Oh. Yeah, and then the gaga gaga. Oh. So there was one time, I had to kill all the lights.
Oh, God.
So in this creepy basement at 12:30 in the morning, I got to go through and turn off all the light switches. And so in that big open area I mentioned, there's 4 of them to the big lights overhead. And so I went click, pitch dark. Gaga, goo, goo, gaga. I'm like, and I ran. You fat man running. I would have made all-American fucking...
You know what I'm picturing like Fred Flintstone when he tries to run but he's not moving and he disappears and there's like this big old pillow of like smoke in your shape.
I'm running up like, my hands are like this. And it's like, but I'm not smiling. I'm I'm leaving a trail of shit as I run because I'm terrified. Oh, it was horrible. And, yeah, that happened. But
wow.
then,
oh God.
About a year later, I go to the Rockies.
Oh no.
And I'm working at the hotel. I was working at a hotel. I never was on this shit. And I was head of security. I was working graveyards. And I never saw it. There was only one time. It was it was so weird because I also lived there. I lived in one of the rooms. There was a whole section for employees because you're up in the Rockies. There's only so much housing. There's nowhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long. But so.
No, that's fine. Go ahead.
You got so used to the place. It was like it was your house. You in fact lived at this big, huge ski resort hotel, fancy 4-star hotel.
This is the Mr. Sturgis Hotel?
Yeah, this is Mr. Sturgis's hotel. We should have a TV show by the name. But welcome to Mr. Sturgis's hotel. And it's a show. But anyway, so it was one of those things where 8 nights out of 9, I could walk around naked. I felt at home. My job as the head of security, this was graveyards. It was to just go and make sure all the doors are locked and patrol all the corridors, do perimeter sweeps, and then if there was noise complaints or violence and problems, I had to go. We had black bears. I had to go respond to black bears. You saw the pictures on Facebook. I had a black bear encounter. I was like face to face, and I was like, "It's you and me. What's good?" And he kicked my ass hard. I was like, I didn't know they were that fast. I knew they were big. I thought I could take them. So anyway, I'll tell that story some other time if I hadn't.
I think we already have.
Yeah,
it was in the Mr. Sturgis stuff.
But it was there was one time I was walking down the hall by myself, nobody else in the building, and I heard somebody walking behind me, and I turned around, there's nobody there, and so it's like, and so if it was just my footsteps echoing, I would have noticed all the time. Just the once. It was so weird.
It's probably like the little girls from The Shining.
So there was
come play with us, Whitey.
By multiple people that there was a little girl when nobody else was in the building. And so my sister, who worked there in multiple departments, she was housekeeper, just like in The Shining, which I hadn't seen at this point.
Okay.
So it's like that didn't influence, that wasn't in my head. I'd never seen it before, didn't know nothing about it. But I've seen it since, and I was like, oh my God, I did go through that. But so my sister said that she was, just like in The Shining, it would shut down for 6-8 weeks, whatever it was. It wasn't like 5-6 months, because, travel is much easier now. And stuff. But it was still a good 2-3 weeks where it was just the staff cleaning the building. And so she said she was going down one of the rooms, and she saw the little girl run into a room. She goes, hey, nobody's supposed to be in here. Goes in, there's no little girl. And so it's just like a head fight. And then my boss, when I was in maintenance, swears up and down that he was pushing a cart all on the 5th floor. And he's pushing a cart, and he saw a woman staring at him and stuff in old-time clothes and shit. And so I talked to Jean-Luc. And I was like, Jean-Luc, how old is the building? He's like, they built it in 82. I'm like, 82? It's a lot of ghosts and shit. A lot of people die here? No. I'm like, okay. It's just creepy as fuck. So, but yeah, everybody, but the one thing that was interesting was everybody swore it was 5th floor. No matter who you talked to, 5th floor.
Right.
So it's kind of like, all right, there's something to it. So I'm on 5, and I had to take the bills and slide them under the door at night so they could check them before they leave. And I look up, and I just see this cascading figure coming down across. I'm like, okay, was that the lights fucking with me? Or did I just see this lady everybody's been telling me about? So it was just I don't even know. But it was just you would always see shit out of the corner of your eyes. And part of it too is it's like lighting. Very stagnant, very dark lighting at night. In those narrow hallways, shit would play with your eyes all the time. So it wasn't near as creepy, but you walk around a 7-story hotel. I think it was 7, I think it was 5, but it was an expansive hotel. So I was like, walk around that by yourself at night with just a flashlight to protect yourself.
That was creepy as shit.
And it was like, but what was weird was most nights, just wander around and I'd have some Modest Mouse playing or something. Yeah. But we're running out of battery power. But that's our story time for haunted shit. And then we'll tell another one in a bit later. But tune in to the Whitey the White Guy show. I'm Whitey. This is Cracker. Watch more of our stuff. Oh.
Good journey. Toodles.
Toodles. I was going to say toodles.